any one of you would have received tablets from school that are funded by the, right? So the USF is doing many things that you are benefiting from. At this time, well, I must apologize. The Superintendent Russell is not with us. Neither is the Councillor, His Worship the Mayor, Winston Mirage. However, we will continue, and we have an item from Freetown Primary. So our students are going to be entertaining us. Please put your hands together and welcome them as they come forward.
Give the children our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Sense of pride to make it easier. Let that children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. Love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Self, it is the greatest love of all.
Thank you so very much. That was so well done. The quality of her tone, and just to tell you that she was called upon at the last minute. Just put your hands together for our young star. Yes, she's also a prefect, and we are definitely looking out for great things from you. Thank you so very much for thrilling us with that lovely, lovely, lovely item. At this time, we're going to be inviting the Honorable Minister to address you. Your minister has been hardworking here and abroad, taking care of Jamaica's business, doing a lot of things. And like I said to him earlier, I admire his calm confidence and strength, and just the ways, mannerism in carrying out his duties. And I'm really motivated by it. I'm genuinely inspired by him. And he's here to address you. He's only been your member of parliament just for about 3 years, but he has done many things. So I want you to join me and put your hands together and just give your member of parliament a round of applause as he comes forward to speak to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for handling the proceedings so well. You have been at it all day, from morning, We're coming from Rocky Point and continuing here in Longville Park. So good afternoon to all of the boys and girls and the big boys and the big girls. Let us acknowledge and welcome again to Southeast Clarendon my friend and colleague, Dr. Daniel Dawes, Chief Executive Officer of the Universal Service Fund, and all of your team members who are here to support you. Let me, of course, acknowledge Miss Julian Gunnis, who is our Community Development Officer from SDC. And, of course, she was with us as well at Rocky Point. And so you have spent the entire day with USF and your MP. So that's a good thing. We also want to acknowledge the president of the Longville Park CDC, Mr. Alfonso Lewis, and his team members who are here, and all of the residents of Longville Park and the surrounding areas who have come to join and to support with us. My Cecilia and others are hard at work as usual. But it's always good when we can come together as residents. Patrick Mitchell here outside patrolling as usual. I saw Mr. Hyman come in late, missing his part on the program, but it is because he was at a funeral, I'm told. Yes, right? So we understand. But of course, we really do like the fact that community members are here, Macy and others. But it is even better that we have our students here. So to you students, we welcome you and we're very happy that you're here. Before I start, Sharon would want me to highlight the talent that we just heard. And let me say this. A big reason why we are here, why we are taking these several steps towards achieving the goal of a Jamaica where you can unlock your full potential, is because we are trying our best to create an environment for the next generation where you can thrive, where you can get up here and express that you have talent. How old are you, young lady? 10 years old. And you just sang a Whitney Houston song. And as somebody who plays, I can tell you, not many persons born will be able to hold the keys, tone, and notes that you did at 10 years old. So it's not any easy feat, okay? And as I said, what we're doing here is for you. It's for you. It's for you children. That's why anywhere USF goes, they bring kids. I used to wonder what is going on with Dr. Dawes. There must have so much picnic everywhere you go. Dr. Dawes have one bag of school behind him. But there is a method to the madness. Dr. Dawes and the USF team understand that any internet service we put in is to provide access to our children primarily, our students, our adults who are looking for jobs, the persons who want an opportunity to connect. It can be as simple as seeking educational resources for a homework or a project, or sending off your resume. Or it can be as complicated as doing research. Whatever it is, this internet access must be used for good. It must benefit the community. It must push you forward in a positive way. That is why myself, Ms. Gunnis, and others, and if the police were here, they would tell you, we are at pains to explain and to reiterate that we want our students and we want our adults both to use this internet service wisely. As much as the internet gives you access to all of the good education, it gives you access to information that's inappropriate and that at your age you may not or should not be accessing. So we have to find ways to make sure we manage and supervise our children. And today, as we did in Rocky Point, we will be giving out and giving away, courtesy of the USF, some more goodies for our students. And so it is critical that we reiterate that just as this internet access gives you benefit to educational resources and information and access to send and communicate and connect, it also gives access to online predators and cyberbullies and persons who want to give you information that you shouldn't. So you have to be wise. You have to make good decisions, and you have to know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. Parents who are here, teachers who are here, take hold, supervise, manage, control, volunteer service here at the center as we restore these spaces so that this can be an environment that is safe and suitable for learning, for fun to take place, and for our children to unlock all of that pent-up potential that is within them. I want to thank the USF. I want to thank Dr. Dawes. I want to thank Minister Vaz. I want to thank our Prime Minister. Because very often we ask questions, we get answers, but we don't understand exactly the time and the space and all the work done between the 2 points. So the question was asked by the community, when are we going to get this support? Years ago, before I came here. Then Macy Hunningham was a high schooler. That's about 30 years ago, 40. And the reality is that this government, your government, has made an investment in the persons who are here in Longville Park and in Jamaica. Government has made an investment and is pushing to make sure that internet access is in all spaces, all communities, all constituencies. And we've started by ensuring that every constituency get at least 3 spaces where you have access to Wi-Fi. And I don't say free Wi-Fi because it is not free. What is free is your access. It is paid for every single month. Every megabyte that comes out is paid for. But you don't have to pay for it. You just need to use it wisely. This didn't happen by chance. This happened by a very deliberate decision made to invest in you. This happened by a decision made to use those funds that have been allocated to better the community, to upgrade community centers, to upgrade spaces, so you do not have any place or any excuse to say you're left behind. And this is something that we have to be proud of. The government is now able to say that Jamaica is on a trajectory towards economic progress because we are now in a space of economic stability. And we are able to use our money now to do things that we couldn't do before, like spend millions of dollars, more than $700 million. USF, you said put where? Into e-learning. Right? $500 million put into providing access across the country. We couldn't think about doing this. That's right, Celia? We couldn't think of it. Wasn't even something we could contemplate before. But now we can think about it. So the next step, since we have the funds and we can make the investment, is to ensure that who is using it wisely. So we have chosen Longville Park. Yes, Longville Park is a growing community, but I also think that there is no other place in Jamaica that has the concentration and the demographic and the dynamic kind of demographic like Longville Park. I haven't seen it. I think Longville Park may be the only space of this nature in the Caribbean region. I must say that, right? The largest in the Caribbean. And it is growing. And what is coming out of Longville Park? Quietly, you have some excellence coming out of this space, going to other places and shining in Jamaica too. So it was a fit decision for me to make, to recommend Longville Park. But my decision was a recommendation. Dr. Dawes, it is you who took it and made it a reality. So yes, we recommend, but it is you and your team and Minister Vaz and the USF that has made this recommendation transition into a reality. So we say a big, big thank you. A round of applause for the USF team. Let me tell you, no MP can work alone. The work of a member of parliament, well, at least I work as a member of parliament, is quite unique because I am responsible from up Boys Content, Moors, Longville Park, Corato Hill, where Millennium Mall is, go right back down to Portland Cottage, Longwood, Salt River, and Rocky Point. All of that. My constituency have more people in it than Cayman. There is no small island in the Caribbean that has more people in its country than I have in my constituency. So it's a massive space and it requires understanding, patience, and support. So I know that when this comes over, I'm going to be filled with messages, not of boy MP, you did well. Why this not in my community? Why Longville Park again? Why Rocky Point again? Why this? Let me tell you what is happening. I started this presentation by talking about little steps towards a goal. It is my intention that every single community center in my constituency should have Wi-Fi. Every single one. We have community centers in New Boynes. Well, we have health center in New Boynes, but we have community centers in Rocky Point, sorry. We have community centers in Longville Park. We are trying to see if we can build community centers in other spaces like New Boynes and across the constituency. And one of the difficulties we are having, Dr. Dawes, is that the infrastructure to acquire the Wi-Fi is not everywhere. So if you have the Wi-Fi, you have to keep it safe and you have to provide a space where people can sit comfortably and safely and use it. So when people ask, MP, why you contemplate these places? You contemplate the places that can accommodate space. So let me tell you what happens. Rocky Point, because it now has Wi-Fi and a computer room that we are finishing off with Dr. Dawes as well, Rocky Point will become the epicenter of computer training for the whole southern belt until we can expand that across. Similarly, because we have these centers here, Longville Park will not just benefit from free Wi-Fi, but as Mr. Lewis said, because they are building out another room here, all of the activities there will benefit from the access to the internet. So it's accommodated in these spaces. And my goal for the next 5 years is to make sure that the other places that have large populations are similarly fitted with spaces that can accommodate safely our students. They may not be community centers, but we are developing a plan now around bringing in some home workers where students will be able to go into the homework center, access Wi-Fi, but also access mentorship and training from retired teachers, retired citizens who are in the community and want to give back. So we want to connect all the dots in Southeast Clarendon towards development. The reality for us is that development is never an easy, it is never a smooth process. I don't know how many of you remember. Chelsea might not be young enough to remember, but when you are 10 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, sometimes you have some pain, you don't even know where it come from. You know why you get that pain? Because you're growing. It's called growing pains. Yes, I know me have 4 young people, I know them going through it. Every now and again, they say, my foot hurt me. My knee hurt me. It is stretching, your body is stretching. and you're growing. And this is what development does. Development is never something that is always understood. So sometimes, Dr. Dawes, what we hear, you will put this access in here, come back to the same space and hear somebody saying, the government now do nothing for us. Right in the same center where you have access put in the week before. And the reason is because the concept of DUFA in the minds of some persons is very subjective and personal and individual. So if me not get it in my pocket or in my hand, or for me, the government not doing anything. I need to make sure that this community understands that this is the government DUFA. All persons. So all persons have access to it. So it may not be put directly in your hand, but it is in your space. But you must get up out of your house, come and put it directly in your hand and utilize it for good. Something which we're battling with, because the reality is there's never enough access to funds to do all that you want. But I'll use the opportunity to just indicate, is Mr. Lewis around? Yes, Mr. Lewis. He walked up. All right. I'll use the opportunity to indicate that this morning, Dr. Dawes' team, community members, before we went to Rocky Point, I had a function at Wembley. It's one of the best events I've held in terms of what it means to me since I've been a member of parliament. When I was younger and not thinking about politics, my father, who some of you know, started a program in North Central Clarendon where he was MP. And he asked myself and my siblings to give him support. We used to give him money, books, and support. We used to go to the program. It was a spelling program and a reading program for the schools. When I became an MP, I vowed that I would do something better, but similar. And I went to the principal of Mineral Heights Primary and spoke to him and expressed to him that I want to start a program focusing on the subjects that meant a lot to me. I was a spelling bee champion. I was a math champion, and I also loved reading. And I wanted to focus on those. Came up to get their little awards. You could see it in their eyes that they are focused on becoming all that they can be. This Wi-Fi is going to give many others who may not have the opportunity to access at home, to join a competition like that, an opportunity to come and learn right at the center. Take it lightly. Everything is connected. Education is a priority for our development plan. Infrastructural development is a priority for our development plan. And we are connecting the two. So I say that to you so you can understand how we intend to utilize this Wi-Fi and what we intend to do in the future. And again, as I close, let me just say thank you to USF. Thank you to the media who have come and stuck with us throughout the day, because it's important for Jamaica to know the good work of the USF and what they're doing. And yes, give them a round of applause. I believe that if we identify and acknowledge the good work, the USF will be inspired and encouraged to consider this very large constituency for maybe 2 more free access Wi-Fi spots. What you say, people? Everybody, you want to give them a round of applause and a thank you in advance. A thanks in advance to Dr. Dawes and his team, who we know right now are considering where else they can put in this large constituency. Freetown has been crying for it. Yes, Freetown has really been crying for it. All right, thank you very much.
Give your member of parliament a big, big round of applause. Thank you very much, Minister Charles, very hard-working MP. And you see, I know all of the MPs, Cooley. I know all of the MPs. And I know those that have that absolute commitment and interest of the people. And I believe that, I know rather, that your MP is one amongst a few. But he's doing an excellent job. And, sometimes it is said a cow don't know the use of its tail until when what? But I ask you, if you want to stay prosperous, if you want to experience being progressive, I ask that you give your MP all the support. And too often, and it happens everywhere, MP, even at the place I'm leading. And just this morning, I had to call him as a number of my senior officers, and I said to them, I want all of you to play the role of CEO. You cannot leave all the work to your member of parliament. And those of you who attend Sunday school, you would have learned about Moses and who? Caleb and who? Come to the church. Caleb and Joshua. When the children of Israel were to have prevailed, it required Caleb and Joshua to have assisted by holding up Moses' hands. Please, the more you encourage your MP, one shall what? Chase what? And two chase how much? All right. So please give your member of parliament the full support, and he is, as somebody would have indicated, he's here, but for 3 years? Right. And he is a senior minister of government. That means the powers that be would have identified his capabilities, his potential. And the boy for you, a first time MP, and you're a big minister. You understand? Big ministry. And I want to commend him. I want to tell him that the Universal Service Fund will work with him if and when he reach out to us. And I tell you, this is one MP that always reach out. Some MP, you don't hear from them from Thy Kingdom Come. They never stretch their hand for the people's sake. But this MP always reaching out. When it's not this, it's that. Give your member of parliament another big, big round of applause in appreciation for his work. All right, where's Paul? Okay.
All right. So at this time, we have some students, some lucky students, sorry. Oh, it's worship. I see you have joined us. I want to call on the sir before we hand out the tablets. He's busy. His worship, the mayor is here. And I know he wants to say something. So just before, tell him short. We're at the end, but.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. Let me, of course, recognize, first of all, our Member of Parliament, Honorable Pearnel Charles Jr., and, of course, Ms. Gunness from the SDC, and Mr. Dawes from the USF and his team, and all of you who are here. Really sorry I'm late, but you know, it's a Friday, and Friday I have more work in the office. All right. But community people, good afternoon to you all. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. And I'm happy that your member of parliament chose this community, which we always refer to as the largest community in the English-speaking Caribbean. We have some 3,500 houses, eh? I don't know how many you can access the Wi-Fi though. All right. So I'm sure we'll hear that, or you have heard it already. Did you explain it? The length and breadth of how far. All right. But of course, it will do good for all the students and even the young people who love upon them phone with TikTok and all kind of something they have now. Eh? Yes. So you get a chance now to do some work on your gadgets. All right. So since I'm late, I won't be taking too much time. But I'm really happy for Longville Park. And this is phase 2, right? Longville Park phase 2. So hopefully the MP can nudge Mr. Dawes around here so and see if we can put one of phase 3 too. And one of phase 1 too. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so very much, Mayor, for joining us. So like I said, we have 5 students who will be receiving tablets. I'm going to be inviting CEO, member of Mayor, of course, Miss Gones, teacher, who is going to just be part of the presentation. And as I call the students, you will come forward. Alicia Dennis. Put your hands together for Alicia Dennis. So you're going to go right up there, Alicia. And Alicia is getting a Samsung, brand new Samsung tablet. Congratulations, Alicia. We also have Janet White. So the teacher. All right. So Esther Williams. Esther, you go right beside the member of parliament who's going to present